Good morning, everybody. My name is Alyssa Weatherby. I'm a proud Fleming alumni and a current police constable with the Durham Regional Police Service stationed out of East Division in Bowmanville. I'm honored to be here today and would like to thank everyone for taking the time to attend Fleming College's Remembrance Day ceremony. Similar services are being conducted at other Fleming campuses and in communities large and small across Canada. Prior to beginning, I would like to ask everyone, please place your cell phone on silent. I would now like to welcome Joel Willett, General Manager of the Student Administrative Council, who will respectfully acknowledge the land that Fleming College is situated on. Joel?
Nine. Bonjour. Hello, everyone. My name is Joel Willett. I'm the General Manager of the Fleming College Student Administrative Council. As we come together on this Remembrance Day to honor those who served and sacrificed, we first want to acknowledge the land on which we gather here today. Fleming College is situated on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Anishinaabe, who have been stewards of this land for countless generations. As someone who comes from an Irish descent, we reflect on our journeys and the history that brought our families here to these lands, often seeking new beginnings while unaware of the rich heritage and profound connections of Indigenous people to this land. Today, as we honor the memories of all who have fought for peace and freedom, we also remember the Indigenous veterans and protectors who have defended these territories and their communities with bravery and resilience. In this moment of remembrance, let us recognize our shared responsibilities to honor, to reconcile, to uphold peace among all people and with the land itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. The order of events is listed on the program cards that have been handed out. Across Canada and in many other countries, people gather on November 11th to honor the courage and devotion of the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice of giving their lives for their country. The hostilities of the First World War ceased on November 11th, 1918 at 11 a.m., the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. The following year marked the first observance of a day to remember and honor those who died, as well as give thanks for the sacrifices of those who came back from serving their country. Since then, Canadians have fought in other conflicts, and many have given their lives so that we might enjoy freedom today. They, too, should be remembered. 2024 marks the 103rd anniversary of the poppy. In 1921, the poppy was adopted by the Royal Canadian Legion as our flower and symbol of remembrance. The poppy was first made famous by the most influential poem of the First World War in Flanders Fields, which will be read later in the program. We remember and reflect today on Canada's participation in the two world wars and in Korea. We remember our Canadian peacekeepers that were killed on various missions around the world. We remember the war in Afghanistan, the largest Canadian military deployment since the Second World War, where more than 40,000 Canadian Armed Forces members served from 2001 to 2014. Of the 40,000 Canadian Armed Forces members, 158 soldiers gave their lives and more than 2,000 were physically wounded. Canada's contributions to peacekeeping and the preservation of freedom reminds us of the loss and suffering of those that died and the physical horrors and psychological wounds of those that survived. We remember today those for whom the war still rages as victims of post-traumatic stress and life-altering wounds. The tragic killing of Corporal Nathan Cirillo at the War Memorial in Ottawa, the killing of Warrant Officer Patrice Vincent in Saint Jean-Richelieu in 2014, and the most recent deaths of Captain Marc LaRouche and Captain David Domagala in the June 2023 helicopter crash near Petawawa are all reminders that those serving in our military put themselves at risk even when they're not in a combat zone. We also honor their service and sacrifices today. Many Indigenous peoples served and fought with distinction in both world wars and in Korea. It is estimated that about 1/3 of the eligible Indigenous population between 18 to 45 enlisted during World War I. Métis and Inuit soldiers were also enlisted. However, only those with status were officially recorded by the Canadian Expeditionary Force. Many lost their status because they were away for more than 4 years. Locally, more than 50 Indigenous veterans from Hiawatha and Curve Lake First Nations are identified on the Indigenous Veterans Tribute List. Murray Waitung, Army signalman in the Second World War, enlisted into the Canadian military in August of 1942, receiving many awards and accolades for his service, and returned home in 1945. Recently, a private member's bill was enacted in his name, the Murray Waitung Community Service Act. This bill honors not only his service and contributions to community, but also that of all First Nations veterans who voluntarily gave years of their life for service for this country. More than 7,000 First Nations men and women volunteered during the First and Second World War, and this is just one example of the distinguished service and sacrifice made by Indigenous war veterans. In a moment, the flag will be lowered while the last post is played. There will be then 2 minutes of silence, followed by the act of remembrance. Please follow along on your program and reply where it is highlighted. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them. Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae from Guelph, Ontario, was a doctor with the Canadian Expeditionary Force during the First World War. On May 2nd, 1915, during the Second Battle of Ypres in France, region of Belgium, Alexis Helmer, a close friend of McCrae's, was killed. McCrae performed the burial ceremony himself. The very next day, he composed the now famous poem In Flanders Fields. Our reading of Flanders Fields will be read by Maureen Adamson, president of Fleming College.
In Flanders fields, poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, that lark still braving, singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up your quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Thank you, Maureen. This concludes our service today. Thank you for taking a few moments out of your day to remember our veterans. Please feel free to pin your poppy to the wreaths located at the base of the flagpoles.